Greetings, Stash Wyslouch here. Welcome to Quick Tips. I'm offering private lessons. Please send me an email if you'd like to schedule some. And if you like these online lessons, please consider supporting me by becoming a patron on my Patreon website. Today's quick tip: what scale do I play over a minor chord? Or reframed, if a tune is in a minor key, what scale should I play? We're going to reference the system I used in quick tip number 75 to make this, and we're going to use an A minor chord or A minor zone as our template. You're playing a tune. The zone is A minor. What scale are you going to play? From what notes will you pick to make up some of your own melodies when you're improvising or composing? So we're going to make a 7-note scale, because 7-note scales are pleasant and work. Every single scale we make will have some sort of A, B, C, D, E, F, or G. We know 3 of the 7 notes already because it's the 3 notes of that minor chord. An A minor, for example, A, C, E. Good. So now we just have to find a type of B, a type of D, a type of F, and a type of G. Interesting. So with that in mind, we could actually come up with something like 24 minor scales that would fulfill this criteria. For example, A, B flat, C, D sharp, E, F sharp, G sharp. It's got the 3 notes of an A minor chord, and then it's got these interesting colors in between the cracks. It's also a very weird scale. I don't think I've ever played it before I just did just now. But it'll sound pretty cool over an A minor chord. And, you know, as long as I was in the laboratory, it's kind of an interesting way to explore the sound. How do we categorize these scales? The A is the 1. Whatever kind of B it is, it's going to be some kind of 2. Since we picked a B flat, it's the flat 2 or minor second. So we have a 1, flat 2. The C is the minor third. The D, A, B, C, D, is some kind of 4th. In this case, it's a D sharp. So it's going to be the sharp 4 because a D sharp is an augmented 4th away from the root A. The E is a 5th. It's a perfect 5th away from its A. The F sharp is a natural 6 or a major 6. The G sharp is a natural 7 or major 7. So we could call this a minor scale with a flat 2, sharp 4, natural 6, and natural 7. Sounds like a mouthful. Good thing it's a weird scale. We don't actually use that much. But now you have a system to be experimental if you feel like being out of the box. Now let's be practical though. These are the 4 scales that we're going to derive using our system from quick tip number 75 that I think are the most useful minor scales, that if you're playing on a fiddle tune like, say, Jerusalem Ridge, or Backwoods' Slipstream, or Backwoods' The Legend, you could experiment using one of these 4 scales and get a nice consonant sound. A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. So that's a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, natural 6, and flat 7. Sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. What's that called? It's called a Dorian scale, or a Dorian mode. Don't worry about the way to derive it. Yeah, it's the same notes as a G major. Who cares? The most important thing is it relates to A minor, and if you have an X minor chord, an X Dorian scale will give you some interesting colors alongside the necessary chord tones. Next is this one: A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G sharp, back to A. That's a 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, natural 6, natural 7. That's our A melodic minor sound. Very similar to Dorian, but it's got a natural 7 instead of the flat 7. Moving on. A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp, the 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, natural 7, 1. That's our A harmonic minor sound. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Distinct flavor, still fulfills our criteria. 3 chord tones of A, C, E of the A minor chord, and then some interesting colors in between the cracks. Lastly, A Aeolian. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, 5, flat 6, flat 7, lands back on the 1. That's your classic natural minor or Aeolian scale, A Aeolian. So now, my suggestion. Pick one of these scales that caught your ear and maybe find one place on the guitar neck to play it. That's A Dorian. I'm playing in position 5, starting on the 5th fret of the low E string. Cool. Pick a song that's in a minor zone. So you could say, for example, let's imagine Shady Grove was in A minor. Shady Grove, my little love, Shady Grove I say. Shady Grove, my little love, I'm bound to go away. Put the backing track on. Just mess around with the notes, mess around with the colors. You don't have to play eighth notes, you can just do quarter notes and just bounce around from a chord tone to a non-chord tone. 1, 2, 3, 4. Explore. There's no substitute. You just have to mess around with it. You might have to do a little bit of exercises just to teach your fingers where some of these good notes are, where the scale actually exists on your neck. But then you have to explore between your ear and fingers and see what actually attracts you. Maybe you could sit down and challenge yourself. Can I write a melody exclusively with this scale, with this sound? Or maybe go to one of those tunes like Tim O'Brien's The High Road, generally played in E minor. Listen to one of the solos. Can you grab a bar when they're playing in E minor, see what the fiddle player is doing, and see what minor scale are they using? What notes are they using that relate back to the E? Like how it sounds? Figure it out and see if you could put it somewhere else on the neck so you could slowly integrate that into your own style. For my patrons on Patreon, I've supplied some fingering charts to the 4 scales I've mentioned today, to kind of give you an idea of how I would sort of visualize an A, Dorian, Melodic Minor, Harmonic Minor, and Natural Minor all across the fingerboard. So please, if you're interested in that, become a patron on my Patreon page and check out all the other resources I have on there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please share this with friends who might be interested in these sort of lesson videos. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for another quick tip. See you later.